So how much is my flooring going to cost? Carpets can vary from £15 up to £100 per square metre. We've got luxury vinyl planks and tiles which start at £25 a square metre and go up to £50 a square metre. And we've got wood flooring as well, which starts at around about £40 a square metre and can go up to £100 a square metre. Things you've got to bear in mind is you've got to generally add on 10% as for cutting and so on, and also you've got to take into account box sizes. So just say you want 20 square metres, add on your 10%, so it's 22 square metres, but in the box sizes it might work out that you need to maybe buy 23, 24 square metres. Please take into account there's a wee bit extra as well on top of your actual square meterage of your room. So what other costs are associated when buying a floor? Obviously you've got the cost of the floor, the wood, the carpet, the LVT for example, and then of course you've got the underlay. So there's different thicknesses, different types of underlay which are needed for certain floors. Again, we'll keep you right on all that. We've also got to consider skirting board removal, beading options, you've got door threshold bars and so on. So there's quite a few different things, but again, we'll keep you all right on everything that you would need to buy your flooring. So when you buy a hard floor, wood or luxury vinyl tiles or planks for example, you need to leave an expansion gap so that the board doesn't swell up and cause it to ripple. So the gap can either be covered by taking the skirting boards off or placing beading over this gap. In my opinion, if you can, I would definitely go for the skirting board replacement, as is a neater finish, and my opinion, it looks better. But beading also, it can look good too. We've got multiple colours of different beading that you can choose to match either the floor or to match your skirting boards. But again, we can help keep you right and help do all that for you too. So another thing to consider as well is quite often when you're getting a new floor, if you get a thicker carpet or you're getting a thicker wood, or for example, then the doors might need trimmed. So if you take the doors off and they won't go back on, then we can do that. It's £20 per door to get them trimmed and rehabbed. Okay, so great, you've picked your floor. How do you pay? First, we ask for a 50% deposit when you buy. We can either pay by card, bank transfer, cash or whatever, and the rest is paid on completion of the job. When you're happy and everything's done, then you can pay again, bank transfer, cash, or over the phone or in the shop with the card. Thank you. Why is the subfloor important? Well, firstly, we want to get the floor as flat as possible underneath so that there's no imperfections on our new flooring. Generally the floor underneath is either wood or concrete. With wood we want to make sure it's super flat. If it's a traditional original floorboards, there can be a lot of movement, and so we might need to put some plywood on top of that to level it off before the new floor goes on. If it's concrete, we need to watch for moisture problems and again unevenness, so we might need to use a self-levelling concrete or even again some plywood just to level the floor off so there's no issues with unevenness or the board not properly joining together. So it is very important to keep an eye on the floor underneath, and again we can come and do all that for you just to check what's underneath and see what's needed, and if there is any issues then we can deal with it all. So LVT, what is it? Luxury vinyl tiles, luxury vinyl planks, you might have heard of it as Camdin, Antico, Moduleo. There's all these different sort of brands that you get of LVT as it's known in the trade. So this floor is super strong, scratch proof, pet proof, waterproof, and one of the hardest floors out there in the domestic market. It comes in different forms. It comes in a rigid click, which can go in slightly uneven floors, clicks together like laminate, so to speak. Again, waterproof and scratch proof and so on. And then it also comes in like a glue down form, which the floor has got to be absolutely super flat, and it's put down with adhesive and it's glued down, and even though it's super thin, it gives a super strong finish just the same. So that's the main sort of different types of luxury vinyl tiles, luxury vinyl. So engineered or solid wood, what is the differences and what is better. Well, engineered wood, for example, might be 20mm thick, but the top layer is the actual, say, oak, for example. So if you're looking at engineered wood, you would maybe see 20/6, or some suppliers might actually hide the wear layer because it's that thin. But if you are going shopping for an engineered wood, always ask what the wear layer is, because that determines, say for example, how many sandings you can get out of it. So it is a stronger structure, it won't warp as much. Sometimes you go into places where it's got wooden floor and they're all bent and they're all warped and they're sticking out. That's probably because it's solid oak or solid wood, which does move a lot more than engineered. So in my opinion, engineered would be better. It's going to last longer without warping, and if you get a decent thickness, then you can still sand it 3-4 times. Will the room have to be empty? Preferably yes. Life is a lot easier if there's nothing in the room. Plus, we don't want to damage anything by moving stuff around or trying to get out the door. So ideally yes. If you can't, then just let us know. There might be a small surcharge, we might have to bring extra people or do something about it, but preferably empty the rooms. Will I decorate before or after my new flooring? I would decorate before the new flooring and maybe account for a little bit of touch up after. It's a lot easier to touch up a wall with a bit of paint than it is to try to get paint off a floor or a carpet or so on. So in my opinion, decorate before and just maybe leave some paint over just in case there's any scuffs. Or for example, if we're putting the skirtings back on or new beading on, then after we caulk it, it might just be a case of just touching up the paint just to freshen up and looking great with your new floor. So is there a warranty in the floor? Well yes, there is. The manufacturer gives a warranty on every floor, and that covers something actually going wrong with the floor. But again, if you were to drag something across it, or say for example it was a flood, then that obviously isn't covered. We guarantee our work. Once the work is done, again, you don't pay till the job is complete. You can go and inspect it, make sure everything's okay, and then you can pay. But again, the manufacturer does do a warranty, and again, we sell good floors and that have got good warranties on them, so generally it's good floors that we do sell you. Thanks.